Hello, everyone. I am Trace Benson. I do a lot of childcare related videos. I occasionally do acting related videos and any other kind of video that I want to do on my channel. So, hey, since my last video of reacting to a nanny video went really well, I thought I would do it again, but this time it is with Stephanie from, hold up before I butcher her username here, Stephanie from the Nanny Entrepreneurship channel. Guess there's no P in there, but I have her video pulled up and it's titled Signs You're Experiencing Nanny Burnout. And for those who are new here, I actually stopped working in childcare because of nanny burnout. I was in childcare for 11 years of my life and I just needed to be done. So let's go ahead and do this. Let me share my screen to you all. All right, let's do this. You guys all know how this works.
Great day. So I wanted to kick off a Nanny Health Month or Healthy Nanny Month. This month is about your health for nannies, okay? I wanted to kick off this month with a video. Usually I have this huge, cute graphic post, all that, but I was like, you know what, let me just talk to you for a minute. So today I actually want to focus on how to avoid nanny burnout or signs that you do have nanny burnout. I don't know about you, but I have experienced it. And it is like, it is not fun. It's not fun at all. And for those of you who may be experiencing it right now, you may not know you're experiencing it, or you're like, well, maybe something's going on and you just need a little clarity to confirm that you are. So I just want to share.
So that's really true. A lot of times when nannies go through burnout, you actually don't know that you're going through burnout. It's kind of like a lot of things in life. It's like the denial stage of everything. And so, yeah, that's super common. I mean, I actually didn't know that I was experiencing burnout until I actually watched this video before, like for the first time. So I already have some thoughts on it, but let's continue.
Share a couple things for you if you may be experiencing nanny burnout. So the first thing is you're just tired. You were tired, you come to Friday and you're like, all I want to do is get in the bed. You possibly may be experiencing nanny burnout. For those of you who work full-time, you know, a lot of us work 40, 50, 60. I met a nanny who works 70 hours a week. I'm like, girl, what you doing?
Please don't take a job that's going to make you work 70 hours a week. Quoting Stephanie here, what are you doing? You're gonna be so dead. It's probably not that good for your physical health to some degree and your mental health for sure. Continuing.
You can't pay me to work that much. But if you are literally feeling drained by the end of the week and you have no desire to do anything else, you just may experience nanny burnout. And you know what? It may not be, I've said this before, but it may not be the duties of the job, but it may be the stress of the job and the load that you're carrying that may be draining on your spirit. It may be draining on your mind. It may be draining you mentally. I don't know. You know, I've had great nanny jobs where I've not experienced any burnout because the family is wonderful. You know, that unicorn family that you love, like everything is just perfect. You're like, I never want to leave you. But then again, I've also had those jobs, you know, well, it's cool, but for some odd reason, I'm just exhausted by the end of the week and I don't want to do anything.
So yeah, a lot of times we talk about burnout and we talk about like the actual duties, you know, of the job. And this isn't just for nannies, this is literally for anybody. And with nannying and being in childcare, it's very different because you are carrying a lot of weight. You're carrying emotional weight for the children and caring about their psychological well-being, their physical well-being, their, I guess I said psychological well-being, but also, you know, mentally. It's a lot. Taking care of kids is a lot mentally, and that's something that I didn't realize until I talked with my therapist. And she was like, okay, girl, let me tell you a few things. So
but I lay in my bed, eat chips, and do nothing. And then I'm back to Monday. So if you are just tired at the end of the week and you just don't feel like doing anything else, you are probably experiencing nanny job burnout. Okay. The second way that you can possibly be experiencing nanny job burnout is that you honestly no longer enjoy your job. You know, it may have been great from the beginning.
just a quick round of applause for that. Continue.
And you're like, you know, I love this kid. This kid is everything to me, or these children, and you know, the family's cool. But do you ever go in on Monday and you're like, I don't know why I'm here? You know, you have a heart for the children, you have a heart for your job, what you do as a nanny, but you're just like, I have tapped out. I have tapped out. Chances are you're probably
Okay. So I've experienced this so much. Like I have drove to work and I'm like, I don't know why I'm going, to be honest. Like I hate this. Like I dreaded driving myself to work so much that it wasn't even funny. I know when I was with a family for like a hot second, it just wasn't a good match. I would come to Monday and I'm like, I really don't want to be with you guys. Like I don't want to be here. So
experiencing nanny burnout. When you go to your work, go to your job, and your mind is not there, it's like somewhere else, or you wish that you were somewhere else. Yeah. You may be experiencing nanny burnout, and you may be, you know, you had the thought of maybe I should look for something else, or, you know, I just don't enjoy this anymore. I just feel like I'm in a routine versus I'm raising a child.
so yeah, sorry, stopping a lot, but the whole, maybe you should be doing something else. I think that's really common when people get a little bit older and they're in college because you start thinking about what you want to do for the rest of your life, which is very daunting. And you kind of, for me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me personally, I really wanted to focus on what was going to benefit me in the future. And honestly, childcare was not the thing, unless I choose to have kids one day, but that's about it. It wasn't helping me professionally, and it really hurt to update my resume and not have anything professional to put on my resume because I just did childcare for so long. So
then chances are you're experiencing nanny job burnout. So the best thing for you to evaluate, I've said this before, evaluate if you are really called to that family. You know, we may be able to do our jobs well, but that doesn't mean, I've said this before, that we are called to that particular family.
Amen, because I think I talked about the one family that I just did not click with. And yeah, I really had to talk with somebody and be like, I don't think this is a family that I can work for. And for me, I actually never had that experience before that moment. So yeah, really evaluate if um you're called to be with that family because you might not be. And that's okay if you're not.
Because as one of my shirts says, the role of a nanny is not just a career, it's a calling. And so you need to just really go back and pray and think about if you're called to be with that family in particular. It just may be the wrong fit. I've had plenty of wrong fit families, and I've been on trials. I remember doing this one trial. I'll never forget it. It was literally down the street from where I lived. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be great. Listen, I can leave 5 minutes before I have to be there, literally down the street from where I live. And I said, this could be wonderful. You know, I don't have to be with them all day. It was a before and after school position. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to take this. No, I didn't. That whole week, y'all, I couldn't sleep. I could not sleep. I knew that if I took that job, my life would be miserable. So you need to make sure just because something is convenient doesn't mean that you're called to it. Y'all, that was a word for somebody. Just because it's convenient, just because even if it's easy, I'm not saying your nanny job has to be a challenge for it to be effective, but just because it's like, oh, I can run their house like this. doesn't mean that you're called to it. So you need to go back and really think and pray, could
Okay, so I just had something pop in my head from earlier of what she said. And she said that, if you feel like you're in a routine versus raising a child, that's definitely a sign of burnout. And I totally agree with that. The thing is, when you're in this field, I believe whether you are a babysitter or nanny or whatever else, you are helping to raise a child. And there might come a time where you just feel like this is a routine, and then you might also notice that your disciplining maybe isn't that fair anymore. And that can be a sign as well.
I not be enjoying my job because I'm not supposed to be here? Possibly so. The third way that you may be experiencing nanny burnout is that maybe you've just let yourself go. You have completely lost vision of your life. You've completely lost vision of what you're supposed to do. You have completely physically let yourself go. You may be gaining weight. You may be eating terribly. You may not.
Okay, before we even continue with this, I felt this. I've gone through this. For those who have been with me, you know that I somehow screwed up my back like 5 minutes before needing to leave back in December. And it took me out for a solid week, possibly like a week and a half ish. I don't remember. The family ended up having to quarantine. And so it ended up being just like a good thing. Um, but yeah, there's some physical signs that are related to burnout. For me, it was my back issue. After that had resolved, after meeting my now doctor and going through all of that, I realized I was getting muscle spasms and I just was not physically okay to be taking care of children. And that was something really hard for me to come to terms with. So there's so many different physical things that could be going on that you need to tap into um, as well. And I'm sure there are a bunch of like articles and things that you can find online. So yeah, look into that.
Just be living the life you're supposed to be living, chances are you may be experiencing nanny burnout. And sometimes when that happens with letting ourselves go, we have probably put our jobs in a place in our life that we shouldn't. It doesn't mean that the job is not important, but remember, like I said, a job should be a part of your life and not take over all of your life. So if you
That saying goes for literally anyone, not just nannies. A job is supposed to be part of your life, not all of your life. I also apologize. I have my windows open, so you might be hearing random children screaming and cars going by. I should have said that in the beginning, but welcome to my channel.
if you have let yourself go, like you don't take care of yourself physically, you're just like, whatever, I'm going through life, chances are you could be experiencing nanny burnout. Another way that you could be experiencing nanny burnout is that everything literally bothers you. You can go into work and the shoe is like in the corner and just like, oh, the shoe is out of place. Or, there's something that triggers you inside and you're like, I just can't do it. Something that
So this doesn't have to be physical. So yes, it can be something physical like a shoe being out of place that can trigger you as well. But what I noticed in myself actually was the kids' behavior was a huge trigger for me because I would kind of get upset and I wouldn't be doing the best job that I could be with them, and that really affected how I was doing my job. And as I keep saying, when you're in this field, you're raising a child. And so that's a lot of work. And yeah, just like parents, you get to a point and their behavior continues and it just triggers you. And then that affects how you parent the child.
maybe mom boss or dad boss has said, and you just like, that just bothers me. Chances are you need to reevaluate where you are. You need to reevaluate where you are. And so if any of these have resonated with you and you're like, y'all, I am burnt out and I don't know what to do, then I feel led.
So she's going to end up praying for people right here, and I'm going to stop this right now.
I'm really, really careful about sharing my
Oops.
face.
Hold up. So yeah, all of those are really good signs of nanny burnout. I've gone through basically all of them myself. And yeah, if it happens to you, if you're like, hey, I'm burnt out, then you need to have a sit down conversation with the family. And this conversation needs to be without children involved. So just get them to sit and talk to you. This can totally happen if you're somebody who has a weekly meeting with the parents. That would be an awesome time to bring it up. Otherwise, you can just tell them, hey, I need to talk to you about something. When would be a good time to talk about it? So I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned something. Hopefully, if you watch this and you're like, hey, I'm experiencing nanny burnout, hopefully this helped you. So if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below, hit the bell for notifications. I don't know why I keep forgetting that part of my outro, but hit the bell for notifications. I post every single weekend, and I'll see you all later. Bye.